I got beat, but what can you do? It's the first game of the season. I'm not too negative about it.
That was New York. God, that feels so miserable now. Right, get me back to New York. So that was the very beginning of the season when we got beat off Fulham. We got beat 1-0 away, but expectations were still high to go on the season. And fast forward, 7 or 8 months, 9 months down the line even, we'll obviously top the league. We're going to talk, we'll get on the whiteboard in a minute. We'll obviously have a look at both teams. We're going to talk, obviously, what we normally do in the big previews is look at Fulham first. So let's have a look at their last 6 fixtures. So looking at how they've performed, look at that. They're actually 1-4, drawn 2, lost none out the last 6. So they're a team red hot in form. And if you also look at the column, they've scored plenty of goals. They haven't. They've scored a whopping 14 goals in 6 games. And they've only conceded 8 out of 6. So they're scoring plenty of goals, 14 points, from the last 6 games. They're currently 7th in the league on 57 points. Yes, they're 5 points off Sheffield Wednesday, but they do have a game in hand. So they're very much still in contention for the playoffs. This is going to be a very, very difficult game. They've got numerous players who can hurt Newcastle. You've just got to look at Chris Martin. Yes, he had that fallout in January where Steve McLaren wanted back at his parent club, but he's got his act together. He's in double figures now. He's got 10 goals. Tom Kenny, who scored a worldie midweek. Obviously, we've been linked to him recently in the January transfer. He's got 8 goals and a massive 9 assists, so he'll play an attacking midfield role. Newcastle's defensive pairing will need to keep an eye on him. And then you're probably going to look at Sonny Luko, who's chipped in with 5 goals. Johansson's got 7 goals as well, and he's got something like 5 or 6 assists. So they've got some players going forward who can hurt Newcastle. We'll come on to the whiteboard in a minute where we can stop them, but the normal lineups, this is how they're lined up in midweek, and I cannot see being too many changes, to be honest. Maybe 1 or 2 at the most, but the formation was a 4-2-3-1, similar to what Newcastle play. So it was Button in goal, Fredericks on the right, Callas and Ream in the middle, Maloney on the left. Johansson played a little bit deeper midweek. He played alongside McDonald, and then it was Sonny Luko on the attacking right, Tom Kearney in the middle, and Cabano on the left. Now, Lucas Piazon, if he is fit, he'll probably come into that position, and then obviously Chris Martin up top as well. So pretty strong, They're very good at keeping the ball, very short passing. When the play will come through the middle and then they'll go out wide as well. Very good at counter-attacking, so they can sit back, which I am expecting Fulham to do a little bit. Not as much as other teams in the Premier League, but I am expecting them to sit a little further back and hit on the counter, They'll play also a very high-line defence, so it means the likes of Dwight Gale can get in behind as well. They've got individual talent, a lot of through balls as well, because they are pacey as well, as I mentioned. However, the weaknesses where Newcastle could capitalise is they're not very strong in the air. You take your 2 centre-backs out from Fulham, they're not very strong in the air, so maybe legs of set pieces get Shelvey in and around the edge of the box or just outside the box, corners, and so on. They give away a lot of chances as well, so expect Newcastle to have a lot of chances because Fulham are a team that like to play a lot of football and they'll give you chances as well, so it's down to Newcastle's front men to try and penalise them. Daft errors, Fulham have got to cut that out as well, and also defend against through balls again, so the likes of Dwight Gale get in behind as well. Slavisa Jokanovic, former Chelsea midfielder, he's also been talking in his press conference yesterday, because I'm filming this on Thursday evening. So that'll be today, but yesterday when this video goes out. He's said that Rafa, of course, is a big name, but he's out there to beat him, so he's confident, He's not surprised that Newcastle are top. They've spent well, and they're a big side, and he's also he's there to cause an upset, and he reckons because Fulham are on form that he can go there and get a result. So Newcastle's injury news, so to speak, you've still got Rolanda Aaron's out, you've still got Isaac Hayden, and DeAndre Yedlin will not make it as well. But apart from those 3, Rafa's got a fully fit squad to choose from. So let's get on the whiteboard. Let's have a look at both teams. Right, so I've shut the curtain. I've got Fulham behind us. I apologise about this light on here. Not much I can do. So it's not often I do these during the day. I normally do these at night. Well, during the day it's like 5 o'clock now. Right, so this is the Fulham lineup that I am expecting in the formation. Maybe 1 or 2 changes. You might see Johansson play further forward, or you could bring Lucas Piazon on if he is fit. But Newcastle are going to hurt with this man needs stopped. He needs stopped on the ball. So if you're going to play the likes of Colback and Shelvey, they need to get on him, because this lad is talented. I mean, it was rumoured that we were going to go, we were alleged to be priced at 15 million for Tom Kearney, which is madness. I wouldn't pay that kind of money, but he is their playmaker. But Sonny Luko, who can obviously obviously run at you. He can play on the wing. He'll come inside. You know, he's very much left-footed, so he will, if he is going to go for goal, he will cut inside. Cabana on the other flank, he's very similar to Luco, but if it's Lucas Piazon will come in because he's more tricky, he's more clever than what Cabano is. But Cabano's got a lot of pace as well. I think the likes of Johansson, if Fulham need a goal, you might see him play further forward, as I mentioned, but very skillful, as I mentioned. He's got something daft like 7 goals already this season. I think he will get forward if Fulham need that goal, but because we're playing away, they're very confident. I am expecting him to get a little bit further forward than what McDonald will. McDonald will just sit there and do your dirty work. You know, every team seems to have one of these players. We've got Jack Colback who'll do ours, where he'll just take one for the team and snap you and just pass it simple to whoever's around him. The fullbacks, I don't think they'll bomb on as much because they're playing away. I think if it was at home, you'll see these two bombing forward, but because they're playing away, I think this is the key area for me. I think this, for me, is where your game will be won and lost for me in them central positions, because Fulham like to play football through the middle, and then they'll try and get it out wide, you know, to the guys. So expect these to come probably halfway line, maybe a little bit further forward, but I can't see it being too much. These guys, obviously, we've just got to keep an eye out for set players. If you remember, actually, we got beat off Craven Cottage through set piece, which was Smith who scored, and he plays up front, but he's not expecting to play. Chris Martin, Fox in the box, so he'll want any sort of delivery, any delivery that he can get. He's a great finisher at this level, kind of similar like Dwight Gale, where if you put it on a plate to him around the box, any service from a Luco, Cabano, possibly the full-backs if they do bomb on, but it's unlikely. But this lad, I think, to stop Tom Kearney, he'll stop Fulham playing for me. And just keep an eye on Johansson as well. Let's target the goalkeeper. I don't rate Button too much as well. Let's get some shots at him. Fulham do give you a lot of chances, you know, so let's fire some shots at him. Let's get over to Newcastle. Okay, so the tune behind us, let's get out of the way. This is what I think, not my lineup, this is what I think Rafa will go with this time around. So Darlow in goal. I think Anita will come in for Heza Scamas. Now, Heza Scamas got a lot of stick in midweek. Didn't do anything wrong in my eyes. He's a right back, kept a clean sheet. Job done. Lascelles, Clark in the middle, usual pairing. Dummett to continue at left back. Shelvey and Colback, because we haven't got much options. Yeah, you might drop Diarmi further back, which you might see later on in the game. I don't think he'll start Diarmi. I think he'll go Perez this time. Richie to continue on the right, attacking midfield. I think Gouffran will continue at left. Now, I know he's dropped off a little bit of form and people want Atsu. I want Atsu to start, but I don't think he will. I think he will go Gouffran. And I think Dwight Gale will come in and start this time around, because, like I've mentioned, in and behind Fulham play a high line. Ideal for Dwight Gale. Right, so as I mentioned with Fulham, the central midfield is key. So I'm going to point out someone straight away, because he needs his link-up play to play well, is Ayoze Perez. If he starts Perez, he needs his link-up play, because he cannot be doing your fancy flicks and getting pushed off the ball, because Perez gets put to the ground so easily. You need to be strong. Maybe this is why we should play Diarmi, but I don't think he will. But Perez link-up play, even hold the ball up, spin around, you know, play the likes of Gale in and play it out wide. I don't know, because Perez likes to come out of this position all the time, doesn't he? He needs a performance. He needs to have that link between. I think Richie, we're fine with Richie, because we know Richie likes to cut in. He's not so much a winger, is he? Because Richie, you'll see him over here. Rafa's been playing. He's been swapping the wingers quite a lot in the last 5 to 10 games. So you might see Richie coming over here if the flanks aren't working. But we'll see if Richie starts on the right hand side. So this is what I mean, the midfield, it's quite congested. So obviously Richie will come in. And the last thing Tom Kearney wants to do, because Tom Kearney will be coming here, the last thing he wants to do is track back to go forward. To track back to say Newcastle players going forward. So Richie, again, Richie's got all the options. I think we've got nothing to worry about. Richie, 13 goals this season is absolutely phenomenal. Doesn't care what league you're in. For a midfielder for 13 goals, that's absolutely phenomenal. Gouffran, I think Gouffran, yes, he tucks in a little bit. Like I said, I'd rather say Atsu, because Atsu will just bomb on down that wing, you know. But I can't say this happening. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd be delighted if Atsu starts, if I see the team sheet on Saturday. I think also, if John Joe Shelvey, now, because it's going to be quite congested, we'll just leave Colback as he is, let him just pick it up, pass it to whoever he needs to pass it to, take a yellow card if he has to, you know, that's fine, just leave him. But Shelvey, for me, Fulham are going to try and stop him because it's very congested, as I mentioned. So maybe Shelvey, maybe surprises them. Let's see Shelvey get a little bit forward as well. Let's get out there. And then, if it's going to be congested, where's your width coming from? Because we know Gouffran and Richie likes to tuck in. You're going to have to then ask your fullbacks to bomb on. Now, yes, Paul Dummett gets a lot of stick at home, but he does get a little bit forward at home. Not as much as I would like to see him, but I would like to see him bomb on a lot more down this flank. I think Anita, yes, Yedlin's better at do it, but Yedlin's out injured at the moment, and I don't think Jesus Gamas has got the legs to get up and down the wing all day. Gamas away from home, yeah, I haven't got a problem with it. Anita's more versatile, he can get up forward, yes. My pen starts running out, I need a new pen. But Anita can bomb on, so we can get some width there. And it's going to be tight. And again, if you got the width, the likes of Dwight Gale wants this kind of era. He loves it. My pen is definitely running out. So if he can get the crosses in, even Richie feeding them. And this is why I think if Shelvey gets on the ball, if he can't, because if we're doing these balls to Gale, which you love over the top balls, Shelvey, but if Shelvey's got a man on him, he needs to change the game plan, so he's got to get forward, and that'll give you an extra option further up top. Gale wants service. If you don't give him service, he's not going to score. For me, I think Dwight Gale has to start, just because Fulham's high line, are literally, the players so high up, is that in defence, you can get behind that as well. That's why I think the midfield is so congested. You're going to have an alternative. Let me know what you think on that. Where do you think we can win this game? Do you think, who's your lineup? Well, don't put your lineup out. Who would play at right back for you? Who would play on the left midfield? Well, left attacking midfield, because it's not really a winger out and out, is it? But the fan cams, I think Will's doing the fan cams because I've got to be back at work at 5 o'clock, so thankfully Sky will let me go at the game, but I've got to go back to work for a little bit. So if that does change, just do keep an eye on with social media, of course, but you know the usual spot for the fan cams on these locations which are on your screen. So if you want to get in touch with Will, his Twitter is Dixon MP4, so I've obviously if you get in touch with him, but obviously I'll put it on our social media as well if it doesn't happen, so do keep an eye on for that. Prediction wise, I wouldn't be too surprised if we got a draw, because Fulham are playing really, really well. Like I said, they're unbeaten in 6 games, but I'm a Toon fan. I've got to be a little bit optimistic. I'm either going to go for 1-1 or I'm either going to go for 1-0 Newcastle. I'm a little bit undecided, and I'm about 50-50 on those. Get your predictions, of course, down there below, and hopefully we get 3 points as well. And also keep an eye out for the channel, which will already be out now, is reaction from Rafa's press conference from Friday. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.